Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. I am DWTT, and this is Tony. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing all right. Not looking forward to surgery Friday, but
Oof. Uh,
yeah,
Hopefully, our Arsenal will make that going into that surgery feel a little bit better than what you do right now. All
hopefully.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Keyword hope.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah. So, I think it's just going to be me and you today. So, Spencer's been working through the weekend and still working now. So we will see him, I guess, next week, hopefully. Got Miss Melina in the house. What's Melina? Thanks for joining us. And yeah, I guess I said hello. So, wow. Yes. So it's Monday, 2 days before what could be, and hopefully isn't, the last chance for Arsenal to win something this season. Um, wow. I got lots of words and I got little words. But let's, you know what? Before we get into Wednesday, Arsenal has played 2 games since the last time we were here.
Yep.
The first leg of the Champions League, Arsenal played at home to PSG. Everybody said that was going to be could be a tough game for us. It should be the one game we have to win.
Yep.
Arsenal need to come out and play like that. And going into that game, and I think that's for me, that's the cause of the pain that we have now. I believe is because of the way we've been performing outside of the Champions League. Because if you're playing with your starters, I'm assuming that's to keep them fresh and keep them prepped and ready to go for the Champions League. And if they're coming out and they're looking flat and looking interested in what they're doing, then maybe they need a break. Maybe they don't need to be there. And we've seen it now. I think we've seen it now pretty much all for at least a month and a half now. It seems like that, anyways. But the last couple of games, Arsenal has looked really poor. So yeah, I was hoping that they could use those Premier League games to prep for this one. I don't. I think those. If we even get a chance to prepare for our next Champions League game this season, I think rest is will be deserved. Tony, I don't know what you felt going into this one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm on the same boat as you. I always talk about the minutes these guys play and stuff, and you should have been able to already kind of secure the number 2 spot, but like I pulled that from the Premier League, I think about 6 to 8 weeks ago, and we had an 89.9 chance of staying at second. And now it looks like we're going to lose that. And that's with playing with our starters. So you rest them. If you're drawing and losing all your games, you might as well give them some rest because apparently what you're doing isn't working.
very true, very true. And for me, I feel like people are going to say it's the players. I'm going to say I feel it's um it's both the players and the manager in terms of where he has the team prepped and ready to go, or in this case, the manager and his coaching staff. I mean, these guys are not coming out looking prepared to win this. So, got to play some good football at least. Anders is in the house. Welcome to Anders. Are you still happy from your this weekend? Leeds, looked like they were going to finish second, but finished late and scored a game winner with minutes to spare and win the championship on top of already qualifying for champions for the Premier League. So good for them. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah. And BX Gunner's in the house. He's not with me on the fact that it could be a two-headed monster and not just a one-headed monster. He thinks BX Gunner says it's the manager and his staff, not the players. For me, only reason why I say to some degree the players have to take a little bit of onus because, like, there's one thing to be asked to do something, incorrectly. There's another thing to actually go out there and not be business like in your be professional when you go out there. And I feel like they're not professional when they go out there. Like regardless of whatever has happened, regardless if the manager's telling you to do something stupid, regardless of what's going on at the house, once you get on that pitch, you gotta try to block it out, or else you get not gonna perform. So, and I think for me, it's performance, and there is some effort. Arteta asked for some effort, right, from his players, and so nothing really has changed from him on that instance. I mean, I Arteta's problem, I think, is playing the players more than asking them to do what he's always asked them to do. So the player management is definitely key in my eyes. But the what he's asked them to do, they've been doing that all season for and for all their time here, they've been doing that. So for me, his main issue right now is management. Whether he changes what he wants out of his players is a different story. But the way he manages his squad in terms of playing them or not playing them or what minutes they get, that for me is where he's gone wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to win any competition when you're basically using 14, 15 players. There's a reason in the Champions League you got 25 players in your Group A. I think it's like 29 total, but you have to have a full squad, and he's done nothing to address that this year because I don't think any addition really. Mourinho ended up being a happy accident after all the strikers go down, and it just I think all that lays on the manager because he's the one that's supposed to pick the squads, get players in that he wants, and I just think it's so much of going back to documentary on Amazon, just him saying, "This is the way we're gonna play. I might change players in and out," and I think that's the manager side of it. The players, I think, are just probably more mentally wore out than they are physically at this point because they've been having to play all those minutes.
Well, I think he lied because you're saying players that come in, and we're not seeing that. I
Yeah,
mean, this is like the second game in a row where he hasn't made a sub until the 80th minute with starters, and not only that, with a Champions League game coming up right afterwards, a semifinal. So two Premier League games in a row. He has played pretty much all of his starters except for I think the that one game where he brought Rice out around the 70th minute or whatever. But and we lost that one pretty much after we lost the game pretty much after he left because he was our best player. And this past one where he once again after the 80th minute, then we start seeing subs. So I don't know what he's trying to get out of his players, but pushing them to play 80 plus minutes when you've got five subs and you only want to use two or three, I think is
but
it's unacceptable one, and it doesn't prepare your team especially when they're struggling anyways.
and that's not a new problem for us. It's something that he's done every year. It's like you have these five substitutions, but he still likes his. Maybe he'll do one at like the 76th minute, but you most of the time it's like the 81st minute when you see him make a change, and it's usually like for like, and you're not going to change the game or secure the win if you're up. It's one of these just asking way too much out of the players.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I was just trying to go back and see the last time he used more than three subs. Let's see. I'm trying to. So, I'm going back 4 games still, and no, and the 4 subs have not been taken off. Oh, you know what? The 4-0 win over Ipswich, we used 4 subs. Nicely.
I'd say it's been about 4 or 5
Use
games ago.
use the entire front line, and Rice came out. So you know, but barely ever do we, like you said, probably use like I mean, what is it? We only used two subs in the Crystal Palace match. One was Sterling, who should have never started. The other one was Skelly. Um, I guess I forgot if that was because of a yellow or not. But yeah, no, we don't. You don't utilize our squad, and when we do, we don't play all the players that actually fit the role. I mean, it's just it's poor. It's poor man management. Poor man management. So we used all five subs against Everton. Oh, but we need to be doing that now.
Yeah,
Need to be doing that now. So let's get into it. So we talk about the Bournemouth match. Sorry, is that right? No, the PSG match. We Arsenal loses 1-0.
yeah.
Give up a goal in the first 4 minutes. Settle down after about 25 minutes after that, and then you know can't finish our dinner, which has been our problem. Got lucky that they were not anywhere near clinical with their shooting. They had a couple of opportunities to score, and we're lucky they did not score because the way we're playing now, overcoming one goal deficit will be a challenge.
Man,
Challenge.
it should have been a 3-0 game by then. Especially you give an early blow at 4 minutes, and it's hard to chase a game when you're down after 4 minutes. That means
It's not hard to chase the game. Wait a second. Okay, you're okay. So you mean if it's 5 minutes, it's easier, but when it's 4 minutes, it's not easy. You have 86 minutes to
no,
get one goal. You just said it's
I
harder to chase down a game.
no, I'm saying because you're gonna be attacking and leaving yourself more vulnerable, and that's kind of what you saw, but not too much attacking. No,
We don't do that. We give ourselves chances. That's the problem is we have to be clinical. We get more than enough chances to score multiple goals in every game we've played. The problem is people want us to get like 25 and 30 shots, and we the way we play, we just don't do that because of our manager. But we do get the opportunities. That's why we want more clinical strikers and people striking the ball with the ball than we do. Because we're not going to change the way we play. So unless the manager changes, nothing's going to change. So uh, so we should have players that can fit into that scheme. It's gonna.
I don't think it's a good thing when Rice is probably your most clinical, along with Trissard. But
Well, other people will say that Harland isn't that clinical. If you look at the percentages of shots that he makes, right? He has the
yeah,
most misses. So it's not either you get more chances or you're more clinical. It's usually the way it goes, right?
yeah, it's been a couple of years since we were in that like 20 to 25 shots a game.
Yeah,
Sometimes we get closer to 30. It's where we should be, but the way our Arteta
yeah,
has changed, that just we're not going to give that many opportunities.
true. Yep. This kind of says Arteta is running out of support. Even the most stubborn Arsenal in supporters, I think, will run out of patience. Yeah, no, I say, I guess passive aggressive in the way I think. If they're gonna keep him, fine, but you got to support him. If you don't support him, then how am I expecting him to perform? Right? That's kind of how I look at it. So at some point, it's not him anymore. It's the people that are managing the club, and this is where we are at right now. Like if he's not going to get what he needs, then he's going to struggle because he needs a lot. Um, yeah, no, Arsenal supporters will, yeah. You're right. Stubborn Arsenal supporters will. I think a lot of people are losing their patience because now the things that he's supposed to be good at, he's not good at. Our defense has been suspect all season, and we still have not been able to, improve it. I mean, we are guaranteed to give up a goal in every game we play. The fact that we have clean sheets is amazing in itself, but we are guaranteed to give up a goal. We just always have a goal to the opponent in us every time. Brenny's in the house.
Yeah.
Brenny, thanks for joining us. Kind of just getting it all out there before the big game in a couple days, but yeah, we'll see. He's chosen not to bring in a striker. These are his players and team. He's been given everything. He's been given everything, but like what I'm saying is he hasn't. He hasn't, or else we would have the answers. We wouldn't be sitting here in year 5 going, well, we're missing this, we're missing that. We don't have a striker. We don't have depth, right? We're missing 4 players. We still utilize less players now, right? So we obviously don't have what we need. Like the fact that we have, um, you know, Zinchenko, Tierney, even in Weary on our bench, and we don't use them. Got Neto on our bench. We don't use him. Right, we got 4 players on our bench we don't use. You know, who else am I? Did I get anybody else? Sterling on our bench. That's 5 players we don't use. Right,
Yeah.
we don't use them. Not the way we should. Ben White not getting used. If he's not healthy enough to go more than 10 minutes, then why did you bring him back? That's a waste. You can only give you 10 minutes. I mean, the man should be able to give us 30 minutes for it to be beneficial to have him there. You can only give us 10 minutes. What's the point? You know, and if not,
I
you're not going to use academy players, then, you know,
I
why?
still think he's hurt from that original injury over a year ago.
Well, when you're saying he's hurt, that means you're saying the surgery didn't take. That's what you're saying. So you think the surgery did not actually work? Because if he's hurt, I don't think he was hurt, or at least he wasn't. If he's hurt, that means they messed up the surgery.
No, I'm saying, but it's when he hasn't been that long since he's had a surgery. But I'm saying last year when he was out in like February, March, when he got hurt, that they brought him back near the end of a year, and they finally did what I told them to do. They actually started at center back one game, I think, so you want to be running up and down the pitch. But I just,
I'm not sure I'll follow what you're saying, but
I'm just thinking that never had time to fully heal from the original injury because you're having.
he's been out for a while though. When you say that, I don't necessarily believe that's
No, I'm saying
correct.
from last. I'm
No,
saying
but
from
he
last
had
season.
surgery this year, dude.
I know,
So he
but
had surgery this year. You're saying that didn't work, is what you're saying. So you're saying that he had a surgery. The surgery didn't take. Right?
no,
He's
I'm
still.
saying, but I said the original injury.
What is their
Right,
original injury? Why did he have
last year.
surgery? So you're saying they did a surgery? They didn't. He's not healed from that surgery. From this, he's healed from the surgery, but he's not healed from the injury that happened almost a year ago.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying.
All right, I don't believe that, but I hear you. I
I
don't believe that he's still injured from a year ago.
I can tell you with my surgeries, I've had that problem because
Yeah, but he played with those whatever injuries, and he played okay. Yeah,
eh,
he did play okay with those injuries.
not last year, end of the
No, this
year.
season. Who cares about last year, dude? We're talking about this
He,
season. Until he got his injury, he was fine. Until he got his surgery, sorry. He's been out for, let's see, about 2.5 months because of the knee surgery that he had. So you're saying that either he hasn't recovered from that or he had an injury last season and he's still in pain for that. So they fixed him, but they fixed him for a injury he's had for like the last year and a half. That's basically what you're saying.
basically, yeah.
But not for the new injury he got last year.
I'm saying that was where the original injury
So
was
you're saying
last
he
week.
hasn't been the surgery didn't take. Let's try this again. We keep going back into circles. So the surgery
Yes,
didn't take.
he
No, no, no.
hasn't had
The
time
question
to.
is, did the surgery take in your eyes?
No,
Okay. All right. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. You're saying he didn't get the surgery, did not take. Oh, he actually played 86 minutes. That's right, because he started. Why did I think he played? No, I thought he only came in and do you know? No, I thought he only came in and played. I thought he only came in and played a little bit. Oh, I was looking at the wrong game. I was looking at the wrong game. So Ben White did play 86 minutes in the last game, um, in Bournemouth game. But I'm talking about Champions League. All right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he can play 86 minutes. We have, and then we might need him anyways because Timber doesn't, is right now he's doubtful. He's doubtful for the next match. But yeah, that PSG game, I don't know how you felt about it, but we're lucky to have the one goal deficit. Otherwise, we're gonna have to play some better football somehow, some way.
yeah. But I'm not sure where it's come from.
Yeah,
I did have a crazy idea of sliding Saka over to the left and letting him be in the middle of the.
Saka to the left and letting who?
Probably bring Tassard to a right wing and play Saka as striker.
Saka as a striker.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah, no, I had a discussion about that today, and the answer was no. Moving Saka to the middle, not a good answer. I was thinking about moving him to more like a 10, actually, more than a striker. I mean, the striker.
I think either way he does what you want to in the middle is able to hold up with the ball and keep the ball. So either I think works. But
Yeah,
but if you're doing that, you could do Winery there as keep Saka.
yep, yeah. No, like I said, I asked that question. I was told emphatically no, no. He's a right winger. I said, all right, and then I had some good reasons why. You know, I feel like his possession is the reason why I like to see him. I like to see him get more touches of the ball, and if that means moving him to the middle of the pitch, then that's kind of what I would like. Because
Yeah, that's
having
kind of
him
what.
having him pinned on the right side is one thing, but you know, you know, but I think that would work. The only problem is I think Erdogan would probably get in his way. So, and that changes the way we play, anyways, because we don't play with a 10 necessarily. So he'll play. He'll be still on one side of the pitch. So he doesn't play in the middle. So you know, yeah. No, that one. Well, I'm taking the 1-0 loss back. I think we have we should be able to. We should have an answer to at least get a goal back. Whether we're going to get two is going to be a is going to be the question. Whether they score a goal is probably an even bigger question because you know, we did shut out Real Madrid. So, but that was at home, and I think we probably could have shut out PSG at home, except for the mental breakdown that we had. So, uh,
Yep.
yeah. Anything else on this game? Because I don't even know where to go with this one. I feel we got
Yeah,
we got lucky with the score line. It looks like Dembele is practicing, so any chance of him not playing or being injured going in, I think is out of he's going to play, and they're not going to risk him if he's that injured. So, but he'll be
yeah.
playing.
This is a game where the players should have been locked in and ready to go, and they weren't because he get the goal in 4 minutes. And
It should be
that,
that should have been a blip, and we made it an issue.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like it should have been a blip. Yeah, we made a mistake. Let's redeem. Let's just get back to what we need to do, and we didn't. We didn't. We didn't. We don't because don't necessarily have sometimes the leadership or the leadership in the right positions for me. Let's see. He's crying for a strike in January, and people sympathize with him. Why? Well, I mean, basically, if he's asking for a strike and they don't give him one, then that's where I have a problem with
Yeah,
Arsenal.
but he hasn't signed one in 5 years, Gary.
I'm not saying he hasn't signed one in 5 years. I'm saying he actually asked for one, which he's never done in the 5 years. So it's not the same situation, right?
But is he actually asking for a striker?
He
Because
was in the media talking about strike of this, strike of that. So yeah, he was asking for one. I mean, it's not somebody else talking for him. It was him talking about a striker.
but was that before really all the injuries
That was
that happened?
before. Yeah, we lost a striker going into the January window. We lost what we lost Jesus going into that. We lost him in December. We lost Havertz. We lost Havertz in January, I believe, if I recall. We lost Saka soon after. We lost 3 of our dynamic attackers in a month and a half time period, and we didn't replace them with anybody.
I thought Havertz was after, but
I think Havertz was in the middle because I'll check it out, but I swear he was out. Um, let's see what it says here. I got this little app that has like I believe the when the injuries occurred or when they were out. But I believe Harris, either Havertz or Martinelli, or I think it was Martinelli or one of the two was still. It was still in January. So let's see. I don't. Let's see here. Kai Havertz. Let's see if this thing has. It says thigh injury, which is kind of weird.
almost all these
Oh
guys
no, so
had.
yeah, so his was in February. You're right. His was in February after. So I think it was Martinelli that maybe got injured going into in the middle of this thing.
Yeah.
But we definitely missed Gabriel. Let's see, Gabriel Jesus. His was his well on January 12th. So this was in the middle of the window. So and that's when they talked about it. I'm not sure when he officially went out. But we were down a striker going into January window. Is my thought. I thought Martinelli was gone as well. So let's check that
Yeah,
out. But I feel that we had chances to redeem ourselves, and we didn't do that. Mm.
but that still goes to my original question was Arsenal / McConaughey's
Was Arsenal?
given were they given Arteta the support because they wanted to get to this Champions League and this new format, or did they actually believe in Arteta and were giving him everything? And if you shook your 8 ball now, it would say shake again, ask later.
You would say what?
It would say shake again, or I can't remember what it says when it tells you to shake it again
Oh,
to give the
okay.
answer. It's cloudy now, ask again, whatever it says.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a little hard because you actually don't know the inner workings of.
Oh, you can only go by what he said. I can only go by
Yeah.
what he says and what he does, and what the team does. Right. So I can't I can't just try to make up stuff that
I,
we
I,
don't see, we don't hear. So he did mention a striker during
I,
during the window, whether or not it's before or after. I believe it was in the middle of the window. Um. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. Everybody got injured right at best in February. So I mean, the first game that Havertz missed was in February. The first game that Jesus Martinelli missed was in February. Um,
That's what I thought. It's like Jesus was the only one, and he did not integral to the team. So
Not any of the team, but when he's healthy, we see why what he's all about, right? And that's kind of what we miss, the things that he was doing. So, I mean, we needed a striker anyways.
we
So
needed
regardless
two
if
or
you're
three
saying,
strikers.
regardless, I guess
Yeah,
regardless of us having injuries or not, we still needed a striker anyways, and we were at that point in the season struggling to score when we needed timely goals, right? That's kind of been
yeah,
our problem. We needed timely goals, and we just weren't doing it. So yeah, we lost. So lost everybody in January and February. So not in December, like I said. So, but I swear it was in. I thought it was before the window opened, but obviously not. We're right in the middle of the thing. Um, but we still needed a striker regardless, right? Even
yeah.
we needed a striker for sure because we just weren't getting what we wanted done. But yeah, yeah. Since 22, 23, this is all in Arteta. He said time and resources for sure, for sure, for sure. He said years to bring one in. He's chosen not to do so. He cries when we had ages to go to do so. He's made his bed now. It's like yeah, no. Well, that's why for me, when people say are you Arteta in or out, I'm like if they're gonna keep him, they need to get him what he needs to win, and somebody else needs to figure out what that is because obviously it's not Arteta because he's just gonna get more defenders and wondering why we can't win games when we can't score. Um, Why should the owners pay over the odds for an overpriced striker in January when he's made the wrong decisions? I think if we had Ollie Watkins in as soon as we could in January, we probably wouldn't be out of the two cups and have no chance of winning the league. I believe that.
Yeah, you definitely had a chance for the league. I think you probably still would have had the cup exits. But
No, I don't think we lose to United not scoring a goal when we needed to if we had actually a striker on our team. I don't know about this. The Newcastle one seems a little bit more. I mean, if you have a striker, maybe Ollie Watkins is the one on 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 what is it? Isak, right?
yeah,
As opposed to Erdogan, maybe. I mean, but I mean, it gives us better chances by having a striker, a legitimate striker in the team. People talk about a proper. I was talking online, and they were talking about a proper striker, and I said we don't have one. And Havertz and Jesus are not strikers, so to say that they're proper
no,
strikers is incorrect. So like until we have one, we can never say, guess what? We are we got what we need.
that's why I always say we need 2 to 3 strikers
Let's
because
get one
we
first. Let's get the one first.
we've had zero though for
Yeah, so
so
let's get
long.
at least one first, and that's before we start thinking about getting two. I mean, that's kind of the thing. We need strikers. We have players that play in the center forward role, but they're not strikers. Yeah, he has players and he plays them out of position. Yeah, so on that's one of that's where for me I get upset when the players don't perform, and I always forget that guess what? That's not even their preferred position some of the time. Like Kirill playing as a left back. That's what he's a center back. We see him as center back. He looks much comfortable and better there, right? So I kind of he kind of does this to himself, like he does it as a temporary stopgap, and then goes, "Now that's where you're going to be." And it's like, well, no, that was a stopgap to get you through. You need to go back and get your left back in there. Like Miles Lewis Skelly is not a left back. Why aren't we not? We're healthy now. We have left backs. Why don't we move him back to the midfield? I think it makes if he plays the way he's been playing as a left back in the midfield, I think we'll be better for it. We control the midfield much better.
Yeah, that just like yesterday or Saturday, you could have had Kearney starting and give Rice some rest, having Kelly play in the midfield. That makes sense.
Yep. Players will not jump at the opportunity to play under Arteta with his stubborn. Well, we'll see about that. I mean, we've been able to bring in players that he's wanted. We'll see what Berta can bring on players that he deems more fit. That's going to be the key there. Is will he bring in a player that he feels is the better player? The summer window will be interesting for sure, but it's all on Berta. So, anything else on the PSG?
Nope.
All right, let's get into it. Next up is Bournemouth. Going into that, I think everybody, as an Arsenal fan, was expecting at least a significant number of subs or rotation. Timber definitely looked like he wasn't going to be coming in because of the way he went out in the PSG match late. Saka probably didn't need to play. Erdegaard, I think always thought he needed to play, but it's not helping. It's not helping. Maybe you try somebody else in that role. Maybe you try Nweri in that role. Try something different than playing the same man in the same position, doing the same. He's doing the same things. He does have blips where he shows up, but in general, it's not good. It's not working. Saliba,
I think you
Saliba,
definitely get Nweri in there.
Yeah, something different is what I'm thinking. I don't know about you think about the lineup, but I just said something different for the Bournemouth match.
Yeah, we see this all the time with Arteta. There's very little rotation, and when you're facing knockout of the Champions League, guess what? You rest your players, but he didn't, and we still lost. That's what the bad part of it is. It's like you risk all your starters by starting them, but you end up with a loss.
Yeah. So a team that can go out there and compete with the likes of a Real Madrid and a PSG can't beat a Bournemouth, can't beat a West Ham, can't beat an Everton, can't beat a Crystal Palace. But we can beat Ipswich. So, those are like the 5 games I think that we've played since. So, and for me, part of that is, maybe the players need the rest, but also you don't trust your bench. And like, those are your players. So, I feel like
it's just all the stuff we always discuss, Gary. It's like he doesn't trust his players. Thus, you don't have a rotation of a rest that you need. Then he's still stubborn. It's like all his thing. He hasn't learned much in all 5 years, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Like I said, if they're gonna, like, for me, I keep going back to it, and it sounds probably so passive that they don't give him what he wants, and he needs to go. We got in the house. We've got Why Not is in here. Thanks for joining us. Why Not? He says, believe
I bet
Gary.
Why Not's having a field day.
That's the problem. I don't think he wants to be having a field day. I don't think everybody is like, all the article Arteta haters and Arteta outers and all that stuff are enjoying themselves. This is not fun for anybody.
Nope.
They have a lot to confirm in all of their comments and stuff. That look, this is exactly what's happening, but this is not any. I don't think talking about that is any fun.
No.
I have never believed that thinking that I'm going to lose this game because my manager sucks is the way you want to be as a fan.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not what you want to be as a fan, but it breaks down to being, I've been right the whole time is kind of a thing that those people can.
Yeah, but I can't go into a game thinking they're gonna lose and struggle every damn time.
No.
So for me, I can't be a fan and then go, well, it's going to be a loss, and then get upset that it was a loss. You already said it was a loss. So why are you upset about it? You called it. You got it right. Yeah, yeah. So for me, I can't like I. That's why I can't I can't do that. I have to feel like there's one way we're going to win it because sometimes they will surprise you. I mean, I saw that with my college football team that I support. I mean, they've been struggling for years, and but I always look through the game expecting something good to happen because I believe you can win every game you play. Every game
Yep.
you play, you can win. You put yourself in a situation, or the other team will put you in a situation where you have an opportunity to win. Problem is, do you take advantage of those opportunities? Got Why Not Saying here. Big up BX in the chat. Have hope PSG also have a bottle gene. Hopefully Arteta does his fundamentals as a manager, and PSG bottles gene is strong. Yeah, we'll see who's people expect Arsenal to bottle, and also PSG. They are known to bottle, in the Champions League. So we'll see whose bottle is stronger. Yeah, yeah, we shall see. I mean, this is another, and like I talked about this. This will be the way we're playing right now. This is a third of 4 seasons where we're ending negatively,
Yeah.
and I don't know who's not looking at that at Arsenal, going, "That's okay," but you missed out on ch- Champions League spot when you failed late in the season. You missed out on Premier League when you failed at the end of a season. You did all you could in the next season to get one. You had one loss at late in the second half of the season that people will talk about, but you lost it in the first half. So you didn't finish weak in that season. In this season, here we are sitting on 3 wins in our last 10 Premier League matches, saying, you know what? It doesn't matter. The league's over. But that is 7 games you drop points in. That's
Yeah.
that worst case scenario. That is 14 points that you have given away, right?
Yep.
And you know what? And we're only down in the league by 12, and we're just talking about the last 10 games. What about the other 30 games where we drop points? So
Especially all those draws that we've
yeah,
ended up.
yeah. So I mean, if you think about it, like, mm, 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 mm.
I mean, if you look at it now, because there's what is there like 4.5 points between third and seventh. I mean,
Yeah,
all those teams can still.
yeah. There's 7 points between yeah. There's 4 points between third and seventh. So
And that's crazy because City was a terrible team, and now they're sitting in third.
yeah, but I mean that's because the teams that should be up there maybe with 70 plus points are sitting still in with 60 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to me, this is kind of like that Leicester year where you only had two good teams. It was Arsenal and
I don't
Leicester.
even know. Even know if you have 2 good teams because Arsenal hasn't been good this year.
But like you said, we've had the chances.
No, but but that just means we're not a good team. People will say you've bottled the league. You haven't even had a chance. You haven't even led all season. How in the world are you bottling a league you never even had? You never sat anywhere. I don't even know what's the closest we've been to the top of the table in terms of points. It felt like we've always been a couple of games short of getting up there. I think Chelsea has been closer than we have. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt like we've had opportunities. We needed to have going like a 3-4 game win barely been able to do 3, much less the 4 and 5 that we needed. So yeah, but let's get back to the game before I get caught up. So PSG, City caught us because we dropped points. Oh yeah, everybody caught us because we dropped points. And we dropped points to every one of those teams. Every one of those teams we drop points to. Uh, trying to go. Which teams have we actually beaten twice? Brentford maybe, Brighton maybe, Fulham. I don't know, but we've
It definitely seems like we play up to competition and we play down to the poor competition.
yeah. Well, yeah, we've done that a lot in the last couple of seasons. But let's get back into it. The PSG game. I went through the lineups. I don't know if you had any thoughts on the lineup in terms of who we
I thought
who.
we were at Bournemouth, Gary.
Sorry, Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Sorry.
We're traveling back in time again, Gary.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Yeah, I thought we would change up the lineup a little bit, give other players give Nweri a chance to play, give KT a chance to play, give White a chance to play, but we only gave White a chance to play legitimate minutes. So White can play 86 minutes against Bournemouth. I'm not sure how that equates to minutes um, against Karich, whatever his KK Karasik. I don't even know how you say his name from PSG. Like if Timber's having problems, I don't know what White's going to do with him. I mean, he was a terror on that right hand side. I'm not sure what I don't know where Ben Wright on the right hand side is going to do. Like it's going to be one of those things where, sorry, it's where Ben White's going to have to put as much pressure on him offensive on with his offense as Karatek's going to put on him. So it's equal. It's equal. You can punish them as well. But Kavra. Oh, that's Kavrashik. Yeah. I see his name and I barely see any vowels and I'm like, where? What? Kavra. All right, I got it. Yeah. Oh, 4 points was the closest. Yeah, 4 points is the closest we've been. So we've had, like I said, we needed at least 2 games to catch up to them. So it's but that game against Bournemouth, ugly. We score. Declan Rice probably could have scored 2 goals in this game. He had at least 3 chances that I know of, that I remember. And he scored 1, which is we'll take that, right?
Yeah.
One out of 3 would take that, but he's not an attacker for us. He's not part of our front line, right? Somehow Marino doesn't start. And the minutes he gets aren't as a center forward, so who knows what that means. So Saka, I think he doesn't need to play every game. You're not going to play him back into form when he's got that kind of. You rushed him back, right?
Yep.
And Martinelli probably can do with the minutes, but like I said, Trossard multiple games in a row. We're not going to get the form we want. Martinelli, yeah. What do you think? I think I've been rambling on here.
I'm just still. I'm not shocked because it's Arteta, but I mean, any manager, any human being knows when you're facing knockout that you have to have rotation, and there wasn't rotation, and that boils back down to the trust issue that he has with his players.
Yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't trust a manager that thinks we need a pickpocket to get us to be on our toes.
Yeah, whatever mind games managers play, whatever they're comfortable. I don't care about that, but it's got to equal the performance. That's all. It's got to equal the performance. So, and the team has to, the team does trust him, but I don't think they back him with the way that they play. And Kvaratskhelia, there you go. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Why not? Now I hear the name. Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, that's right. I think he's going to be a terror like he was in the last match. We're going to have to equal that with whatever we can do on our side. That's only Martinelli right now, and that's not a good sign. Now, the worst part of that whole thing is Bournemouth had Semenyo on the bench. And I've said this too many times. Look, they don't even have some of their best players out there starting. and we're not running away with the game. So guess what they're going to do eventually? They're going to make subs and bring in their better players. Because guess what? We're not running away with the game. We're not closing. You're not shutting the door in front of the faces of our opponents. So they have a chance. And over the last month or two, they've seen that they can get a chance. We're not running away from anyone. And teams will get their chances. We've shown that too many times. Too many times we've shown that. I'll show it again. They bring Samuel on just in the middle of their little run, and he helps them get where they want to go. We don't make any subs, which I have. I don't even know if Arteta said anything about why he did not sub until the 80th minute in back-to-back games. And how does that prepare your team for the Champions League semifinal, which is do or die?
Yeah, he's basically saying they need to use that anger from the Bournemouth loss. But are the players really to be that?
They didn't use the
mad?
anger from the. They didn't use the anger that they had in the, in is it whoever we played before before we played Bournemouth, right? They should like if that is the mindset that he supposedly has his players thinking, then why do we have 13 draws? 13. That's almost a third of the season. And over half of them, we had leads. So whatever he's doing, do something else. Do something else. Yeah, we played. That's right. We played Palace, and we had a lead in that one and lost it when Saliba made a terrible pass in the direction of Ughhh, who is going to get muscled up by anybody most of the time. So I don't know. You know, I think a lot of people are like Ughhh. What? I mean, not only that, but he's playing injured.
Yeah, he hasn't been the same after that.
If he's playing injured, then what the world are we doing? Right? He's injured and he's still playing. You have healthy players and you won't play them, and then we are struggling right where he is every damn time.
And one of them's averaging just under a goal a game when Harry that would be playing in that position. But then we go back to what we said in October that when Harry should have been playing. But Arteta decided he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That should be the like for like replacement.
We don't do like for like in the right. We don't. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do like for like. We're never in a situation to do like for like.
Yeah, but he's good at what.
We're, you know what? But the reason why we're doing like for like is for what reason? I don't know. We need to get a goal. Going doing like for like doesn't get us the goal. I swear I watched the team bring on 4 attackers because they were chasing a goal. I think it was, I want to say Manchester United. I can't remember which game it was. They brought on 4 attackers because they needed the goal. I don't know if they got the goal, but at least they tried. We don't.
We have a goal when we bring on two defensive players.
Yeah. I mean, why is we take out we take out Rice. What is it? The 70th minute, I believe it was. Right? Why? We took him out. Yeah, we took Rice out in the 74th minute. Brought on Moreno, and then said, Moreno, you're playing in the midfield. What? What's the point of that? That's not his best position right now.
Nope.
You have Tierney you could have put in there. You have Zinchenko you could have put in there. You have Zinchenko you could have put in there. If you're going to put in a midfielder, then. I mean, what was he trying to... I mean, he's always trying to save a point instead of trying to get 2.
Yeah.
What happened
that's why I said I'd rather lose the point. I want to die fighting, trying to win.
Mm-hmm. No, you take those 13. You take those 13 draws, right? Yep. You try to get wins, and say you only get wins in half of them. Say you only get wins in 7 of them, right?
Yep.
Guess what? You got one extra point, but you actually tried. Maybe you do a little bit better than 50%, right?
Yeah.
And you know what?
Uh,
Not only that, but you didn't even score in the Everton match. Guess what? One of those draws is against Liverpool, right?
yep.
One of those draws is against City. Another that 0-0 draw is against Nottingham Forest. I mean, these are all. I mean, you're drawing to we're struggling against the worst teams, but we're drawing to everybody. Everybody's got a draw from us so far. And that first seven, I think the first seven, I think everybody's got a draw. We're just giving out draws, man. Giving out draws over and over again. Let's see. I think we lost to Bournemouth twice. We've beaten. Let me see. Anybody else? Leicester we've beaten twice. Um, that team we've beaten twice. Wolves we've beaten twice. Right. So it's not that many teams we've beaten twice. But Bournemouth is the one that's Bournemouth and Newcastle. Newcastle, we have a chance to try to get salvage their season against them. We've so far
Yeah.
We so far have lost 3 games to them this season. We still have one more to play at home, which we're not that good at home. So, but yeah, that Bournemouth game. Not only that, but there have been a lot of that talk about the Hoyson, center back, who we might actually have to bring into our team. Well, so it looks like he can put a header in. Yeah, we have put in. Let's see, why not? It appears he's either has an ego for second, or he knows they are low of form and aiming to play them back into form. A wild educated guy. Playing them back into form? What? Not the way they come out and play. Yeah, I wish that was working, because Erdegaard would have been back in form right now. But I guess he's injured, so basically he's not helping. We don't have 4 attackers to bring on. Nope, we got 1. Sterling, nope, is not an attacker, and Wary is not allowed to play. I think he's not allowed to play. We don't bring him on. He's allowed to get 10 minutes max in a game, and even that is probably more. It's more like 5 minutes. Yep, we have a defensive bench to hold leads. Yeah, we don't really, and we don't use them. If that's the case, we don't use them to hold on to leads, because when we have a lead, we'd never bring them in. We always take one out. Right, we never bring them in to secure a to lead. We just switch and reload. We reload where we don't need to. Right? If you told me we're struggling up top and we're just gonna refresh and take air to go out and bring in Wary in, I go, okay, it makes sense, because he hasn't been up to par. But if you're chasing a goal, you bring in Wary on and you take off. I don't know.
You don't take Rice off.
Don't take Rice off. He's your best midfielder, best player right now. Drop points from games leading 10 out of 28, 9 draws, 1 loss, total 21 points. Yeah. I'm not sure what that count is. Why is it 28? We're in the 33rd. Oh, we've been leading in 28 games. We've dropped points in 10 of those. I get it, because we had we've had games where we've come back, and we've had games where we've had 2 0-0 draws. And once again, it comes down to timely shooting. I mean, we had opportunities to score in the Nottingham Forest game. We didn't do a good job there. We had opportunities to score in the Liverpool match. Didn't do it there. Chelsea didn't do it there. I mean, there's too many chance. Yeah. City is the one draw that it's hard to say that's all on the way we were playing, because we were down a man for almost for a half. Let's see what we got here. Given our draws at Arsenal, like your local pusherman. Yep, we are. That lead situation comes down to more imaginary fundamentals. Make substitutions to have a positive effect. Yeah. No, when you're struggling, definitely. I see what. Definitely. definitely need to make our subs to change the game. We never do. We just give a guy a break. I think is what we do. We never try to get something out of the game with our subs. Um, yeah, yeah. This just watching. They just um Araya made a pass to one of our plays. I want to say it was Erdogan, but it looked like Erdogan gave up on the pass instead of just attacking the ball. If he attacks the ball, I think they don't get an opportunity. But let's see. I have to look at this again. But pass is there. Erdogan, it's not. It doesn't look like he's looking because he's just like misjudges the ball and then has to stretch for it and misses it. I think that's another thing is if he's injured, then he's not going to be able to push off on that foot. You either pass it to his feet or you don't pass it to him. Can't lead him.
Uh, I think it's a combination, Gary, of being mentally and physically just worn out.
Yeah, but you have to overcome those things. You know that, or else you can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know that, but I'm just saying
Yeah. So
that's why.
when he hasn't done it all season, he hasn't overcome anything, injuries, mental fatigue, all any of that, because he hasn't had a 90-minute game where we said he looked really good in it. Right.
And that still, to me, goes back to the fact that because when we played the 4-2-3-1, when we actually played Odegaard as the attacking midfielders, when he netted the 15 goals, he's got the goals in him.
Oh, it definitely has the goals in him, but we don't play him that way. He's more concerned with, I don't know, organizing the defense and being part of that build up from too far back. I just think that's the dumbest thing. Yeah, that,
It just it's so weird because we have our defenders that are past our attacking players so often.
yep, yep. Like you look in the box and there's like Moreno is playing midfield is in there, and then you're going, why in our attackers that are already there high up the pitch not actually in the box when the ball is flying to Saka. He gets the ball and he looks inside and there's nobody there. The ball is in the air for a while to get to him, and we still have nobody in the box that he can pass to. It's just the dumbest thing ever that I see, and that's yeah, yeah.
And we see that all the time, Gary.
Yeah,
That's been constant. With we look at my box and there's not people in there.
yeah. Brentford we drew twice. The early one was the one that definitely should have won. I can't remember how the second match went, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, we took a lead into the locker room and did not hold on to it. Anything else on the Bournemouth game? I think it's getting painful to talk about our games. They all feel the same.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've seen this same shit, different day type look.
Yeah, deja vu, man. Deja vu. Deja vu. It's
It's
gotta.
like we don't play attractive football, which is
Yeah,
bad enough. It's
yeah,
it's it's a, it's a boring watch most of our games.
yep. You know that we're gonna give up a goal, so if we don't have a 2-goal lead, we know we're in trouble. BS Gunner says if this was an American sports franchise, he's a perfect coach, always near the top. But this is a sport where competing for 4 trophies a year, no room for a repetitive failure year in year out. Yeah, well, no, definitely that is. There's definitely a lot of truth to that. And you know what? At some point, we can blame Arteta all we want, but it's always been the case that it's not just him, right? It's
So are we the Buffalo Bills?
no, because when we no, maybe. Well, if we finish second again, maybe. But you know,
That's still crazy because I pulled that off the Premier League website when it said we had a 89.9% chance of staying second.
Mm. Yeah, and the reason, one reason why I wanted second is more for the team to finish strong. Like if they can finish in second, then for me, it means that they actually finished the season strong and weren't like giving games away just because it's the end of the season. And it would definitely, for me, rub into and kind of influence the way we play in the Champions League. Right. But how in the world do you build on the last two Premier League matches and say, look, those are going to be good elixirs and good ways to prep for our next game against a really, like, we're playing the terrible teams in the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
And we're not playing well. Like, I mean, like, and I'm talking about when games on our side, like in the first halves of these games, we are not playing well. And then second half of these games, we are getting beat. Like we could go up 2-0 against PSG and lose it based on what we just saw.
Yeah.
Because of the way we've been playing. So and that right there, I don't know if that would be the case for him not making it out of this season, but it would definitely, like, there needs to be discussion anyways. I don't know how you feel about that, but Arsenal has to make a decision and have a discussion amongst themselves whether they are going down the right road with the people that they have in place.
Yeah,
Right?
and this is four out of 5 seasons we finished this way. Last year we were playing good, but it's like
I
you
don't.
can't you can't.
I know 4 seasons. I don't know about the fifth season. That first season. You're saying that first season you think we struggled? Don't you think?
I'm saying, but 2 years we finished fifth, and but 2 seasons we finished second.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see, because we finished 8th in that season, right?
Yeah,
And
I was
no,
not
I'm sorry.
including that season.
I'm telling. Well, that's the season. He's only had 5 seasons, 5 full seasons. So unless you're thinking of the season where he won the FA Cup,
It was including this season, so it would be
he's
eighth, fifth, second, and wherever we finish this year.
yeah. But you said 5 seasons of. You said, didn't you say
Right.
5 seasons of or 4 seasons of being bad?
Finishing the season bad last
Yeah.
year was the only season that we finished the way we should finish this season.
Oh, we lost in that season that you're talking about. We lost once in the last.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
see.
not talking about that season, Gary.
No, I'm talking about the season where we finished 8th.
No, I was going by the 2 we finished fifth, and the 2 we finished second.
Yeah, but the 5th was a half season, so we're not counting that. The 5th, he finished the season that we won the FA Cup, right? That was 2019, right? That was 2019, right?
But Gary, we finished eighth, fifth,
No,
second,
no, 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 no,
second.
no, no. We
Then this
finished.
year
No, we finished 8th, 5th, second, and this season will be
it was fifth
his 5th
twice,
season.
Gary.
I'm looking at it right now. In 2019, we finished 8th. In 2020, we finished 8th. In 2021, we finished 5th. 22, second. 24, 3, second. Currently, we sit second. In the last 5 seasons, what? We've finished second 3 times, 5th, and then 8th if you go back. And then we finished 8th when he got half the season. He's only been here for five full seasons, 5.5 seasons.
Probably finished fifth this.
No, we've only finished 5th once. Only finished 5th once because we lost in the Europa League, right, to Chelsea. Who was the manager for that? You finished 5th when we had Unai Emery, we finished 5th. The next season, he didn't make it through the whole season. We finished 8th. So
Yeah,
you're
I thought we finished 5th this season after
only
that.
once since Arteta's been here. Once with Unai Emery, and that was the season that he got. That was the season after he got fired. The season before he got fired. So yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, the season that we finished 8th, we won. We dropped. Let's see, dropped 4 out of the last. Let's see, the last. What is this? The last 10 matches, we lost 4.
And that one, we had like a over 75%
Yeah,
chance.
and we won the FA Cup. So say what you will about that. If you think we gave up the league to an FA Cup, then that was what people want us to do. That they're happy with that. The next season we finished 8th, right?
Yeah,
We dropped.
I
We dropped
convinced
3.
myself Arteta did a better
Yeah.
job than he actually did.
No, he hasn't done bad, but we have had some really ugly losses, right? The loss and draw to Villarreal in the semis, not good, right?
Yeah.
The round of 16, round of 16, round of what is this? Quarterfinals of no. Where is this? Where is the EFL? Oh, we lost really early in the cups in that season. So yeah, we've had some really really ugly times in the cups.
It's like three years in a row we were out in January, which two of
Yep,
those happened to beat the record of our earliest exit.
yep. We were out of the EFL Cup in December, and then FA Cup in a month later in January. Won the City, which Runeson had a part to play in that one, if I recall, and then Southampton. We played them in the same week, and people are like, "You have to win the FA Cup. You can't lose to Southampton." We lost to them, and we beat them 3-1 the next, 2 days later. And then we finished 8th. Right? Is that right? We finished 8th, so it didn't get us anything. So we could add potentially another FA Cup, but yeah, no, priorities are not there.
I, I, I don't know why I convinced myself that we finished 5th when we finished 8th.
Yeah, time, money, trophies for sure. We got Rhetoric Gamer in the house. Thanks for joining us, Rhetoric Gamer. Can't blame Emery for Arteta finishing 8th. He left the team in 8th, 4 points behind 3rd or 4th. Arteta ended 16 points behind 4th in the FA Cup in 3 games. No, you know what? I've never blamed Emery for Arteta finishing 8th. I haven't done it. People have. I just said Emery was there beforehand. As would Emery have won the FA Cup based on what we've seen so far with English teams? He doesn't do well with English teams for some reason. I don't know what it is. He's had opportunities with them. They've been playing well. He's gotten the players. I mean, I was looking at their
He definitely does
December
it
one.
in the European competitions. But
Yeah, I was looking at their their January window and going, we could have done with all their players that they brought in, all of them, right? And now look at where they are now, right? They just dropped off all of a sudden.
And to keep on with Emery, we were third going into that first October or second international break, the one that's the first part of October. We were sitting third, and the team just turned on him. The fans turned on him. I think if you see things out, you would have finished higher than 8th. Then you bring on Lundberg to coach those 3 games. Want to even give him assistants, coaches.
Yeah.
All those guys get to pick their own coaching stuff, but nope, he didn't do
He's not.
nothing.
Well, that was where they kind of they wanted Emery out for whatever reason,
Yeah,
and Arteta they wanted to work on Arteta, and that just you know like there's no reason to rush him out. Like let Lindbergh uh, Lundberg finish off the season, then bring in Arteta too soon. Give him a whole, middle of the season. Them come, that's basically what you should have done. They should have done. I mean, Pep was fine to let him go. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. Pep was like, yeah, you can go mid-season. We don't care, right? I
Yep.
don't know. I forgot what. I assume City won that year, right? Because they pretty much have won. He hasn't won one season since he's been in England. That was his first season, and this one. So I think he won that season. So imagine that your assistant, your number two, supposedly goes. You're okay with it, and you go on to win whatever four straight Premier Leagues.
Uh,
I think you went after the wrong coach,
yep.
Arsenal. After the wrong coach. VX kind of 5 years in, and he still needs training wheels and a full armor of pads. Who gets this much time in the top club to learn on the job while wasting valuable chances and opportunities? Yeah, that's why I say he needs help. People will say, well, it's he's gotten the players he's wanted. Well, he needs the people that pick the players to want to be better. But
Yeah.
I think he also needs the assistants to help set up what he wants to do. Because obviously he can't. He's not getting support because there's no way. If you're an assistant manager, how in the world, as an assistant manager on this team, can you look at what we're doing and go, "I'm all right with that"? This is almost basically what we saw with the men's team. Jonas was
Yeah.
was hurt the team so bad early in the season, and Renee came in, took over the team, and they went on a tremendous run. Now they're sitting in the Champions League final. All right. They're
Yep.
struggling right now at the end of the season. I think that might be fatigue. Plus,
Yeah.
I think I think it's fatigue, and we're depending on some of the wrong players now. But we don't have the depth there, so hopefully, they need to win one game, I think, or They need to draw the last game, or else they will be sitting in third and have to play two play-ins basically to get to the first round of the Champions League. So, but no, Arteta 5 years, yeah. I mean, I always go also back to there's no manager in the first 5 years of their career one who get this job. So that's the one negative he's got against him is that he took on a job that's too big for him. But then nobody's done it in their first 5 years of their career and been successful. And Pep has done it, but Pep actually coached in Barcelona B, even if it's not a top flight team. He actually did coach and manage a team before he took on the first team at Barcelona. I believe that's experience, regardless of whether it's
Uh,
he's
uh,
yeah.
and before we hired Emery, we wanted Arteta. Arteta actually said no because he wanted more control. So if you're Arsenal, you would have probably said go and coach somewhere during that time. But
Yeah, he didn't get whatever control he didn't have. He didn't get it at City,
mm,
so I don't understand why he was okay a year or two later, whatever it was, because he didn't
yeah,
get any. He didn't get any of that experience. He didn't run the team, didn't coach the team, except for I think he might have coached the team when Pep was out for suspension. But otherwise, he didn't gain any experience that helps him as a manager because he didn't do any of that. So I don't know. Arsenal, that's where they went wrong. I think they went wrong that way. But if you're going to bring him in, then you have to support him, or else and so we can't support him with people just as young as him. That just doesn't make any sense, right? That's like saying, you know what, we're going to have Runeson in there, and then we're going to bring in some of our young defenders in front, and then hope it works out. No, they need to have more senior players and more experience around them. So There's a question. I think is Arteta open to new voices or other opinions? I think that's where, at some point, that's where the team needs to step in, and that that maybe that's the football operations person, head of director of football. He's looking at this, going, "Are they really helping you? Because your set piece coach can only do one side of the set piece. It seems.
Yeah.
I don't know what Carlos Suera does, but if it's anybody who's doing anything with the attack, not doing good. Defensively, I think we're sound. Attacking wise, not so good. Goalkeepers, I think we've been done good with our goalkeeper, right? But we've always been good with our goalkeepers, no matter who's been there. So I just he if at some point the team has, we see this over here in the States. At some point you'll see the head coach just go out and replace two of his biggest assistants. They
Yeah.
rather keep, and you're like, why are they doing that? And like sometimes it's because it's not working. You need somebody better, so you go out and get somebody better. Or so I mean,
And,
Pep's got
and
guys that are like older than.
and those
Oh,
teams do that like mid-season, especially like college. If you don't start off good on offense or defense or whatever, it's like the guy's gone because they're not living up to what they're
yeah,
supposed to be doing. And you make
yeah,
what
and
change.
yeah, I think at some point, eh, you know, yeah, these are guys that are you're comfortable with, but these aren't guys that have more experience than you, and they need to because you have none. You know what I mean? Like you had none going into this thing, and then you bring in assistants with just as much experience as you, which is none, right? So yeah, he's able to take counsel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That I think, like I
And,
said, I think that's why I keep saying he needs help, be it with players, be it with assistants, be somebody he can talk to. He talks to Pep. He supposedly talks to Pep every week or something like that. Are you telling me he's gotten no education from Pep in the 5 years he's been here to make sure he's better at what he does? Yeah. Yeah, cancel. Yeah. Does he want help? He needs the help. I mean, he can't be coming second. Like if we come second or third time, and we're not, and he doesn't get everybody he wants, is it going to work? That's why I said Berta has to go. Can I do it if I can't get him all the players he needs? And if
so,
he can,
so
then that is an easy decision, right? If Berta says you need 10 players to make this work. I can't get you 10. I can get you 5. And then Berta has to decide if he has the power, whether getting the 5 is going to make sense. If his coach is not going to be able to get better
yeah.
from where he is today, you know. So for me, that's the thing. It's like, can you overachieve with the players you have? So far, the answer's been no. No, he cannot overachieve with the players he has. Does he have good players? Yes. Good enough to win stuff? Yes. Yes, he has players good enough to win things. We all say you bring in a different manager, you don't change anything in the squad, you probably get better performances.
And then you have the thing where our Arteta's like, oh, we have too many players. Then the next deal, he's like, we don't have enough players.
I don't
And
think.
now
Well,
this year's the same.
well, Arteta wants 13 players that do all the things he wants, and no team has that. No team has that. Carlos Westa is a developmental coach, camp counselor. Oh, that doesn't. I don't even know what that means. Developmental coach. What? What is that? I don't know what that means. What does he do then? They bring up his name all the time, saying he could leave us, and that's why we re-signed him. I mean, developmental. I don't know what that means. What does he do? Like, does he handle developmental? What does that mean? Because aren't they all developmental coaches? Right?
Yeah.
They're all developing something. Saka with a shot, he misses high and right, and he's smiling. And I think that I haven't liked when he's been smiling after he misses a shot. because I just feel like at
Yeah.
some point you should be a little upset that you can put the ball in that you want. And the smiling thing is, I kind of feel like these. Are you gonna smile when you like? He wasn't smiling when he missed that penalty kick, right?
Yeah.
Why are you smiling now when you're missing shots that I know you can put in? We know we can put in. He was upset that he didn't
You,
put that ball in. This is the same thing. Any shot that he misses from here on out is crucial to us getting where we need to be. He's got to be pissed that he doesn't put that ball on target.
yeah, I've known you pointed this out 3 or 4 times now. When Sock has smiled when he could have scored or could have did better on a player or whatever. He's sitting there smiling. It's like that's maybe not what you want.
I want like you to be pissed out though you didn't put that ball in. Like there got to be some sort of like disappointment that you didn't make it work. Like we've every time you've missed a shot like that, guess what? We've dropped points. We're dropping points. Every time he scores a goal, that's another opportunity for us to get points and get the win. So I kind of felt like that's kind of where we're at right now. All these things are crucial. Always say Arteta is a student of Moyes. Would Pep have a bunch as defensive as this or approach? That's the thing that doesn't make any sense, right? How in the world is Pep? What is Pep? So Pep did not bring him on for, you know, I understand going to Pep if you want to work on your offense because he does really well with that, right?
Yeah,
But then when you don't use it, then what's the point? Right. If he's defense, then that makes sense why you would go to Pep so you can get the offensive knowledge, and we see that all happen a lot, right? A coach who is missing a piece of their game will go and sit under another manager, another coach, and learn the art of certain things that he doesn't have in his CV, right? And he didn't learn anything from Pep because he's not used any of it. And I don't mean like because he doesn't have the players. I think he doesn't like we've seen Pep pull players when it's not working, right? We've seen Pep have an offensive scheme that works. We don't do any of that, right? So it got me talking bad there. We're almost at 90 minutes here. Let's talk about the next game before we get out of here real quick. What's your thoughts on our next PSG game? This is essentially it. Down one on aggregate. We need to score two to move on, or at least to get extra minutes.
yeah, and you have Timber that probably isn't fully set to go, which you need with what they have. That's why I definitely consider the back three because you got Tierney that's used to playing back there. You could do that. I think it gives you a better chance, but I don't think he's gonna change anything.
Yep. Like I said, something has to change. Or these players, like you said, maybe they will play up for the occasion. They didn't do it against PSG the first time. Got smacked in the mouth, and then they kind of lay down for a bit, and then they got up and started playing some football.
You would figure at some point pride would kick in and overpower the other things that's holding you back.
Yeah. And you know what? If we go down a goal and we're down two on aggregate, what's the point of not trying to score to get back into the game? What is the point of not bringing on more attackers, not like for like subs? What's the point of like not changing the formation to try to get the second and the goals that we need? I'd rather go out 4-0 trying to get the goals that we need than
Yep.
holding on to a 2-goal aggregate deficit. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I mean, I don't think anybody will be happy that we lose 4-0 on aggregate, but I don't think anybody will be happy losing 2-0 either. You know,
No.
and if I told you he went out there and he played to win, and players just didn't have it either because one, they're tired, then at least at least we tried. At least we tried.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I always say. That I've said that on the draws. It's like I would rather lost half of those or a third of those than sit there and not do something trying to get
Mm-hmm.
the win.
Yeah, we don't want to go to penalties. I mean, their goalkeeper is Donnarumma is really good at stopping goals, penalty kicks, and our goalkeeper not good at. He moves before the player moves, and then they just tap it in behind him. So I don't think we want to go to penalty kicks. I think, and I think for the team needs to win a game, win win a game, and if we win a game at the least, we'll go to penalties. But we need to win this one. But I would like to just win it and you know win it by 2.
But it's kind of like you want to be 2-0 at halftime. So then you can rely on the defense to keep that body.
And you know what? We can't do
out.
that. We can't do that either. No, 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 no. See that right there? That thinking is why we draw from winning positions because the mindset at that point is we're just going to hold on to this lead. And guess what? We have not done. We haven't held on to leads. Basically, I hear you saying it, but I've heard many people say Donnarumma going to penalties would not be a good idea for us, and maybe that's because they can make theirs. But maybe that's what it is. But I know going to penalties, a lot of people feel like that is not in our favor. So maybe it's because we don't have any good penalty takers, or not enough. I mean, who's our top 5 penalty takers right now? Saka, Jorginho's out. Right, so that's one gone. I think he's out. I know supposedly he's confirmed to Flamenco, right? So I mean he's out. I mean Partey's not taking any. I have not seen Saliba take any. I think Timber's taken one. Erdogan, is he going to be comfortable taking penalties?
Basically, it's like soft and rice is only 2 I can really.
Maybe Trossard can take one. I have not feel like he's taken any. Martinelli, don't think so. So I don't know. I just don't think it. Yep. Semenyo comes on in the 64th minute. Yeah.
I guess Mourinho maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let's see. Why not says I heard someone was it early. He sounded like Arteta. He said I would rather be compact, lose by 1 goal margin, than be expensive, lose by 3. In a knockout round, it doesn't matter whether you lose by 1 or 3. Knockout round losing means absolutely nothing. That's like saying if I go to a finals, I'd rather lose by 1. No, than 3. What's the point of trying to do that? You don't get anything for 1 loss in a cup match. Like, no, you're trying to win. If you try to win and you lose because you're trying to win, then I'll take that. That means you just, you get better with players and better with formations and better with player development. If we such that we have a development coach, then you get better at that, right? You know how to fill the holes. But if you never try to win, guess what? There's nothing to fix because you don't know what you're fixing, right? If all we're doing is defending a 1-goal loss, how in the world are you going to win? How in the world are you going to win a match, right? If you only know how to defend a loss. I think that's kind of crazy. That's kind of my thinking there. So
I think that's why we've ended up with so many draws because it's like
we're defending.
he makes those defensive substitutions instead of making offensive ones. Just hold on to the game, then we end up giving up a stupid goal.
I'm about to see this throw in for a header right now. 65th minute. We should get out of here. Tony, what you got to say? We're going to get out of here.
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here. There's the header, and that's 1-1. I don't think I want to see any more of this.
I hope we win, but not sure we can. Or I know we can, but I'm just not confident that Arteta's make the right moves. Like I said, he can move to a back three, give us better chances because you have to stop him. They have a player that's fast on the outside, so it's better to have three defenders back there constantly.
Yeah.
Yes, they're like
I
a
hear,
fast
I hear
one.
you, but for me, Dembele actually having a little bit of an issue means he's not going to be an issue, and I don't think his speed had anything to do with the reason why he scored. Our defense had a lot to do with why he scored. I mean, I know I feel Rice should have made sure that he wasn't left alone, be it either himself by being there or making sure people covered. He left an open hole in the middle of the defense and didn't command anybody to go back in and get that. So I kind of feel like, yes, it's not his place, but I think it's his place. Like, I'd rather, why in the world, like, if I see you rolling and I see there's a hole at the end of the road, if I don't say anything and you fall in it, because you know what? I don't, I wouldn't do that. I would just let you, there's a hole there. Once you go around, all right? Right. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, that's what he did. He saw the hole and he ran away from it. And then he didn't tell anybody to make sure nobody goes into the hole. And then so you fell in it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. No, just make sure the hole's protected. Nobody
It,
goes in there. And that's
it, it,
when you
it's
do
like
it.
at a construction site. You see the orange nets that's set up around the whole construction. That's what should go up when you leave a hole in the middle of the pit.
True. Yeah. So, like, I think there's danger because guess what? Their best attacker is there. If you leave the hole, their best attacker. That's like saying, you know what, Saka, I'm going to leave Saka and give Saka all the. Nobody does that. You know why? Because that's stupid. Nobody leaves Saka. They rather get the ball to somebody else. Dembele's their best player on the attack. Don't leave him alone. That's like saying you see Messi and you run away from Messi because guess what? One of our wings is having like that's like leaving Mbappe to go run after Rodrigo, right? Or Vinny
Yeah,
Jr. Like, Mbappe should be their best player. You run away from him, you give him all the time and space, you're probably going to get punished for it, right? And
yeah,
most of the time. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, no, we I'm go. As you said, I would like a 2-0. Basically, I would like a 2-0 win. I want a 3-0 win because I don't want it to be even close.
yeah. It's what you've been asking for all season. You've been
I win.
asking for that extra goal.
I want to get that 2-goal cushion in every game we play. 2-goal cushion. All right, BX says great show, guys. Thank you. Catch you on the next one. Yeah, we'll be back next week. 2 games. Well, only 1 game will be played by the time we play again. We don't play until Sunday, so we will see you guys then. You've already said your byes. Say goodbye, Tony.
Goodbye, everybody.
There you go, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We should have a full slate back when we rejoin. I don't think Spencer's working this weekend or working hard this week, or he might be, but he might have the weekend off. So we'll see. I know Tony, probably you have maybe a show coming up or something like that.
Yeah, I got to because there's a Backlash in St. Louis, which is the premium live event on Saturday. So do a watch along there. Then Thursday, basically do a preview show of it and kind of what
Cool.
else is going on in the week. So.
Cool. So check that out. We'll be back on Saturday, talking about everything else, but I guess Arsenal because they won't be playing, and hopefully they will be happy about the football because they would have won and moved on to the final, just like the women. We'll see who they play. The women have been struggling of late. They've given up 9 goals in their last 2 Premier League matches. They've needed a win to secure a second spot, which is important in the women's game. If you finish third, then you have 2 play-ins as opposed to just the one when you're in second. So it's important that they finish second, at least from the point of view where they have less games to play to get into the first round or second round. What do they call it? So they have a good team. They've just been struggling, and they've switched their goalkeeper out. I think because of their main one is injured, and she hasn't been too good. I mean, she's given up more than half of the goals that they've let. She's been on the field for more than half of the goals they've let in. She has not played half the games, so it's not good. But anyways, we'll see how women I think play this weekend. I think it's the last game. They draw. They finish second. If they lose to the team that will finish second. So they have it's all up to them. They control their destiny. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully they play their number 1 goalkeeper just to give her some minutes and see this thing out. But we'll be back. If you haven't already, subscribe and like, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Tony?
Good night, Tony.
We're out. Everybody, have a good one.
Life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Go around.